Hi, today we're going to be tying a classic nymph pattern. This is the very first fly I ever learned to tie, the gold ribs hare's ear. I would tie them by the dozen when I was 10 or 11 years old, and today we're going to be using a Dairiki 730. It's a little longer, it's 2x long, and this is a size 14. So I'm going to be using some lead wire. This is .015 lead wire. I'm going to build up my thorax a little with this wire, and add in the weight and give me that nice nymph shape that we want with the gold ribs hare's ear. My thread is a uni thread 8/0, and this is a camel collar. I'm going to bring my thread back here. Thread wraps right back to the barb of the hook, which if you let that hang, it'll line right up with the barb of the hook. And for our tailing, for actually most of this, the whole body of this fly is all going to be made from the fur from this hare's masks. This is a natural hare's mask. See his little ears? There are fantastic different variations of dubbing on this hare's mask that you can get. For the tail, I'm going to use right here from the crown of the rabbit, where he's got longer hair and these long guard hairs. And I'll pull some of those guard hairs out. You can pull them out or cut them out. And then clean it up. I'm going to hold the tips of these, and I want to get rid of some of that fluffy bunny fur that's on the back, which is all good material that we can use later. I'm going to take this, tie it in length of the hook shank. I'm going to start with the material facing me on my side of the hook. When I put a loose wrap, my second loose wrap is going to roll that right over to the top of the hook, so it's nice and straight. And you can cut some of this material off, but I usually leave it. Helps me build up that thorax nicer. And I just tie it down. Okay. Now we're going to put our rib in. Today I'll be using this ultra wire. I think you can use flat tinsel. I probably started with copper wire that I'd scrounged around and found, but this is gold ultra wire. Tie it on my side of the hook, tie it down nice and tight. Now we're ready to dub the abdomen, and for the abdomen I'm going to use some of this cheek, the material that's on the cheek. It's nice and fluffy, and it's also lighter color, and I'm kind of picky about the way this is colored. I like a darker thorax and a lighter abdomen, and so I'm going to pull some of these cheek materials out. And all I'm doing is just pinching this, pulling it into a little fluff dubbing ball. Here you can use some dubbing wax or introduce a little moisture to the thread. Will hold a nicer, tighter noodle of dubbing. Nice dubbing noodle there. Like I said, I like it lighter colored in the back and tighter. So you dub that forward to the point of the thorax. If you get any kind of wild little hairs, you can take those out, but really they just add. And now I'm going to wrap my ribbing material forward. Tie that off. Nice and tight. You can just helicopter this wire. It'll break right off, leaving a nice butt down in there. Alright, now we're going to put our wing case on. And for our wing case, I'm going to be using a turkey tail feather that I've treated with Flexament, Dave's Flexament. It makes it nice and stiff. I've thinned that Flexament down a little. I want this about the width of the hook shank, or the hook gap, the gape of the hook. And so I'm going to take a section of that, cut it. And from this one section, I could probably get, quite a few flies out of this. So tie that down in right behind, or right in front of that abdomen material. And now we're ready for our thorax. And our thorax, I'm going to go back to the same kind of dark material I used for the tail. I like some of the under fur for that, and the stuff that you saw flying around, I can actually pull that out that I used before and not waste any more from my mask. I dub this nice and tight on the ends, a little looser on the middle, so I can get some legginess going there. Dub my thorax. A little more. Make sure you're getting that nice nymph profile. I'm going to pull my wing case over, tie that wing case down, a little stiff. This is where you would also put in your flashback if you wanted to make this a little flash to it. Trim off that excess and build up your head. Got a couple hairs there. And the only thing left to do is finish the fly. You can put a whip finish in it, and put step is we want to make this fly look a little buggier, so I'm going to take a dubbing brush or a piece of Velcro and pull out some of those guard hairs, stroking it backward. And there you have it.